Ever heard of a bank robbery where the thief wasn't after personal riches, but was trying to fund a revolution? It sounds like something straight out of a movie, but this is the real, incredible story of Victor Manuel Gerena and the 1983 Wells Fargo heist. It was one of the largest cash robberies in U.S. history at the time, and the man behind it vanished, becoming one of the FBI's most wanted fugitives for decades. Let's set the scene. It's September 12, 1983, and West Hartford, Connecticut. A young man named Victor Gerena, just 25 years old, is working as a security guard for Wells Fargo. He was a good employee, quiet, reliable, and nobody suspected a thing. He had been hired just a year earlier, and on that fateful day, he was working his regular shift at the depot. But Gerena wasn't just a security guard. He was secretly a member of Los Macheteros, a militant Puerto Rican independence group. The name literally means the machete wielders, and they were known for their clandestine activities aimed at securing Puerto Rico's independence from the United States. That evening, Gerena's shift was nearing its end. His partner left for a dinner break. Leaving Gerena alone, this was the moment he had been waiting for. He took his two co-workers hostage at gunpoint, handcuffed them, and then injected them with a mixture of aspirin and water, telling them it was a harmless sedative to make them sleepy. It was a bluff, meant to keep them from fighting back or raising the alarm too quickly. With the facility under his control, Gerena calmly opened the vault. He began loading stacks of cash, millions of dollars, into the back of a waiting rental car. The total amount was staggering $7.1 million. That's over $20 million in today's money. After cramming the car full of cash, he simply drove away, leaving his bound co-workers behind. It was almost an hour before they were discovered and the alarm was finally raised. By then, Gerena had a significant head start. He met up with his accomplices from Los Macheteros, and the money was transferred to a motor home. From there, it was smuggled out of Connecticut, destined to fund the group's revolutionary activities. The FBI was baffled. This wasn't your typical smash and grab. The precision and scale of the operation pointed to a well-organized group. Gerena had disappeared without a trace. The FBI immediately launched a massive investigation, codenamed Aguila Blanca, or White Eagle. They quickly identified Gerena as the prime suspect. His picture was plastered everywhere. He was placed on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list, with a $1 million reward offered for his capture. But finding him proved to be an impossible task. Where did Gerena and the $7 million go? The trail led investigators deep into the world of radical politics. Los Macheteros used the money to finance their operations, including propaganda, legal defense for members, and other covert actions. They even released a communique taking credit for the heist, which they called Operation White Eagle. They claimed the money was expropriated from Yankee imperialists to fund their struggle foe. A sovereign Puerto Rico. For them, Gerena wasn't a thief. He was a revolutionary hero. The FBI spent years piecing together the puzzle. They slowly identified other members of the conspiracy. In 1985, 2 years after the robbery, the FBI arrested 16 members of Los Macheteros in a series of raids across Puerto Rico and the United States. The arrests were a major blow to the organization, but the mastermind, the inside man, Victor Gerena, was still missing. The money was also largely unrecovered. Investigators believe it was laundered and moved through various channels, with some of it potentially making its way to Cuba. And that's where the trail goes cold, leading directly to the island nation of Cuba. The FBI believes that Gerena was smuggled out of the United States, likely through Mexico, and was given asylum in Cuba by Fidel Castro's government. This move made perfect sense from a geopolitical perspective. During the Cold War, Cuba often provided sanctuary to radicals and revolutionaries who opposed the United States. Granting Gerena asylum was a way for Castro to poke a finger in the eye of his American adversaries. For decades, the FBI officially listed Gerena as a fugitive believed to be residing in Cuba. Imagine being on the FBI's most wanted list for over 30 years. For decades, Gerena's face, aged by forensic artists, appeared on wanted posters. He was a ghost, a legend in the world of true crime and political espionage. While other notorious fugitives were captured or killed, Drina remained at large. The U.S. government made numerous requests to the Cuban government for his extradition, but they were always denied. Cuba never officially confirmed his presence, but intelligence sources were confident he was there, living under a new identity, protected by the state. Life for the other members of Los Macheteros involved in the heist was very different. Many faced long prison sentences. The leader of the group, Filiberto Ida Rios, was one of those arrested in 1985. He later escaped custody and lived as a fugitive in Puerto Rico for 15 years before being killed in a shootout with the FBI in 2005. The legal battles for the other accused members dragged on for years, becoming one of the longest and most expensive federal trials in U.S. history. It highlighted the deep and often violent divisions over the political status of Puerto Rico. So, what happened to Victor Drina? Did he live a quiet life in Cuba? Did he ever regret his actions? We may never know the full story. He became a phantom, a symbol of a radical cause. The Cuban government's protection meant he was effectively beyond the reach of American law. As the years turned into decades, the case grew colder. The world changed. The Cold War ended. The United States and Cuba even began to normalize relations. But Drina remained a fugitive. Finally, in 2016, after 32 years on the 10 most wanted list, the FBI removed Victor Drina. This didn't mean he was cleared of the crime. The charges against him still stand. It simply meant that the FBI no longer believed his placement on the list was a valuable tool for his capture. He was, by then, in his late 50s, and the trail was as cold as it could possibly be. The statute of limitations for the robbery had long since passed, though there is no statute of limitations for the specific federal crimes he was charged with. His removal from the list was a quiet acknowledgement that, after more than 3 decades, the chase was effectively over. The 1983 Wells Fargo heist remains a fascinating chapter in American history. It was a crime driven not by personal greed, but by political ideology. It involved international intrigue, a decade-spanning manhunt, and a revolutionary group willing to go to extreme lengths for their cause. Victor Manuel Drina, the quiet security guard who pulled off the score of a lifetime, successfully became a ghost, melting into the shadows of history. He outsmarted one of the most powerful law enforcement agencies in the world. All in the name of a revolution. It's a story that proves, sometimes, the truth is far more complex and compelling than any Hollywood script. Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more incredible true crime stories you won't hear anywhere else. See you next time.